Here's a really big question for you. Who are you? Heads blowing. It's quite a big question, isn't it? And today I'm going to dig deep into this concept, but I'm also going to give you a challenge that can make you feel amazing about yourself today. So if you want to figure out who you are and you want to feel amazing today, make sure you watch this video. So last night I caught up with this young guy in my fitness world who's this young up-and-coming fitness instructor, and he's this really good kid who's doing really great both in his fitness career and his other career. And we're having this discussion around this concept of who are you as a person? And it's a really interesting question to explore because it's quite broad. It can be defined in many ways. But one of the things I like to think about in my life is what are my values that represent the true me? What are my values that represent the true me? Like when I'm being authentic to myself, what are the values that represent that? Now for me, it's love, it's honesty, it's freedom, it's fun, it's creativity, and it's growth. These are kind of words that I think when I'm living my life well, I'm aligned with those words. And when you think of that question of who are you, do you clearly understand what that is? Because often what we find with people is that when they think about the values that they want in life, they're often chasing values that other people have or that they think the world thinks they should have, not necessarily who they really are as a person. And one thing I've learned in working with a lot of people is that ultimately what people want is alignment to their true self. So when I'm being aligned to my values, then I feel I'm living my life well. Now, going back to last night's conversation, it was really interesting because in the conversation, I shared some of my values with this young kid. And at the same time, I shared some stories around my values. And then he shared one of the values that he feels is important in his life. And I said to him, share your story about the value that's important to you. And he actually had an example from that day with this value. Now, what was really interesting, looking back on the stories both he shared and I shared, the stories we shared was when we were challenged by our values and we did well to maintain our values in a challenging time. So one of the stories I shared was around honesty. Like honesty is a massive value in my life. And the story that I shared was a moment where where I was basically gone to a place where I'd been a bit dishonest. And luckily for me, in that moment, I realized honesty was so important, I couldn't be that person. So I kind of redirected back to my values and felt alignment, and felt good about myself for doing that. And interestingly, his story was very similar. So both of our stories were kind of about moments where we had slipped on our values, but we caught it quickly and we got aligned with our values. Now, a lot of time in life will challenge your values. So most of us will have experiences where we've been challenged by our values, and hopefully we've done really good work to make sure we didn't slip to a level of ourselves that we're disappointed in or we feel we're losing ourselves in. Now, this is one way to think about values. This is ultimately, if we can understand who am I and what values are important to me, the second thing is we can understand catching the slip in our life. But then there's another way to think about values, which is even more exciting. And it's basically to look at your day and goes, where's the opportunity for me to actually get the most out of my value today? Like not just kind of catch a slip, so avoid the moment when you're going backwards, but actually to do better with my values. So example, one of my values is love. Love for myself, love for the things I do, and love for the people in my life. It's something I hold really true to me. I want to be a person in the world that represents love to the world. Now, if there's moments in my life where I feel I'm slipping from love, I want to catch that moment. But also, today, I've got opportunities to give love to the world. It can be looking for an opportunity to give someone some praise that's going to make them feel great about themselves. It might be just making a really awesome comment to someone that, again, makes them feel amazing about themselves. It might be me going deeper into a passionate moment. And this is the key thing I want you to take away from today's little talk is values, and understanding values is a really important thing because we don't want to slip away. But ultimately, when we think about living the best day to day, one of the things we want to be doing is looking for opportunities where I can apply my value and maybe even try to enhance it to the next level. Like, if you think about yourself, now hopefully you understand what your true values are. And if you were to identify, let's just think right now, what's one value that you know is core to who you are as a person when you feel you're being aligned to yourself? Now, as you think of the next 24 hours of your life, where's there an opportunity that you can apply that value and actually act in a way that's in the next level of your value? Now, do you think that if you did that, you'd feel amazing about yourself and that you could have an impact that feels phenomenal in your own alignment about yourself and your life? So here's my challenge. This is what I want you to do. I want you to think about one value in your life that's really important to you, that you know is true to your core. And then over the next 24 hours, I want you to see that opportunity where that value can shine and what action you're going to take in that moment. And then when that moment hits, I want you to apply it. And then post that moment, just see how you feel. Because ultimately, values are a great guide in our life to make sure we don't catch and fall away from a version of ourselves that we don't like or where we feel we're losing ourselves. But the ultimate goal of a value is to go deeper into it, to evolve it and learn a deeper understanding of it. So take on my challenge, next 24 hours, understand the value, look for an opportunity, apply the opportunity and see the difference it makes you feel in your day. If you enjoy my pieces and you want to bring exercise into your life, you need to check out my book, I Will Make You Passionate About Exercise. This book is designed to be a step-by-step journey that teaches you the right lessons and experiences to guide bringing exercise into your life, not just for a moment, but where you get to the place where you have a long-term love of exercise. So you get fitter, you get healthier, you have great stress releases, and you feel amazing about yourself. This book has been hugely successful, getting to the top 10 in the world for health and fitness books. So if it's time for you to bring health and fitness into your life, go to Passion About Exercise, click on the link, go through the process, and you can be starting your journey of finding your love for exercise really soon.